Today I'm going to show you how to make an awesome welcome sign with just a piece of paper, a blank piece of wood, and a stencil. I got these fantastic stencil and paper. Look at this wood, isn't that fantastic? Off of Studio R12 Etsy, and I've got a blank surface and I want to make a simple welcome sign. So I'm going to show you how to decoupage this paper on and use a stencil. And the neat thing about doing a project like this is you're only limited by how many found surfaces or surfaces you have, and you can use that stencil over and over again, and the papers are cheap. So it's really a wonderful way to make gifts and have some handmade goodness to give away. So I'm going to use Decoupage Medium. That is running low. This is the DecoArt Americana Decoupage Medium, which I love, love, love. The matte finish doesn't reawaken with water, and I'll start in the middle and get that going, and then work to my edges. The edges tend to dry quicker, so if I start in the middle, then that starts drying before my edges do. Then when I come on my edge, I'm going to go ahead and brush away from the surface so that I don't make a mess on my edges. By the way, when you're basing a surface and you want to make it a solid color, that's the way you do that too. That prevents your edges from getting messed up. Okay, I'll need to get some more medium out. Okay, and then that's a little bit thick. You want your color to just be kind of transparent. So I'm going to go ahead and move that medium around just a little bit, and so I don't make a big mess. You want it fairly even. It doesn't have to be super pretty, but you don't want it lumpy. Okay, my corners started drying, so I'm evening that out. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'll decide where I want the paper to adhere, and then I'll flip it over. And I will apply to the back of my paper. Try not to get it all the way to the edge, because if you go all the way to the edge, you can't hang on. If you can't hang on, then you make a mess, and it's a slippery slope from there. It's really nice that they offer such really big papers. This is, I don't know what size it is, but it's bigger than like the 11 by 17, so I can go all the way across a pretty good sized surface. I love putting on decoupage backgrounds because you can take wrapping papers and decoupage papers and all kinds of things and just make such unique gifts. Right, I laid my brush down, and I'm noticing that one of my corners is drying, so I'm going to lay my paper down and waken that up. Don't want my corners peeling. Okay. Put that back down. I'll take the paper, and I think I want my stripes going up and down. So I'm going to need to pull that up. And then I want it straight. So I need to make sure that basically I get about an equal distance. I'm satisfied with that. And then we'll take our brayer. We have a little 2-inch brayer. Go out just a little bit. And you start in the middle and work to the edge. And if you go from the inside out, then what will happen is your air bubbles will take care of themselves, because you can lift that back up to release them too. The paper kind of stretches, so make sure that you're not being mean to your paper. If you're big and strong, don't push too hard, and if you're small and not so strong, push a little harder. Oops, get my corner down there. May have to just put a little bit more glue on those corners. And I can do that while they're wet by just lifting up and sneaking a little bit of glue in there. Alright, and then we go fast all over. Yeah, this corner over here. See what's happening on both of these is they're lifting. Not enough stuff to bite. And then over here it's doing the same thing. So I'll get both of those down. Alright. And now we let it dry. It'll take about an hour or two to dry. You can force set it with a heater or a blow dryer as well. Alright, we're going to take a sanding disc and we're going to just run. I'm going to get this propped up so you can see. We'll take the roughest grit of the sanding disc and we're just going to run this along this edge, right on the edge. And what this is going to do for us, as soon as I get it enough, I actually need a fresh disc. This one isn't doing a very good job. Let's try the other side. This will actually pull straight away as soon as I get it. And that should do it. Ah, I see what's going on. I've got some glue factor going on. Okay, so I'm cutting through the glue as well. So I'll have to spend just a little bit more time doing that. There we go. And that's what it's supposed to do. So yeah, just be careful of having too much glue, and you can just peel that back and sand it, and that'll take care of that. But do that all the way around, and then you'll have a perfectly sealed, perfectly cut edge. We're going to make this into a cute little welcome sign gift. So I'm going to take my little glue dots, and I'm just going to roll a couple of strips here and there to hold it down. Learned this trick from the Tombow folks. And that's a little Tombow adhesive dots, and they peel off, the stencil peel off really easily. Now I've got to decide, do I want my sign to go this way or this way? I think this way. And with the welcome word and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're straight and centered, because you don't want to have your words running downhill. And one of the ways you can do that is to pull out a little roller. So that's right at 1.5, and that's right at 1.5. Okay, we're good to go. So we're going to take some soft black paint. Okay, I'm going to use a dome stencil brush, and then I'm going to dip into my soft black paint, and then I'm going to always, I'll do this up here, wipe off most of my paint and kind of work it into the brush a little bit. That's the secret to no bleed stenciling. You don't want to have anything bleeding under your edges. Then when I stencil, I'm going to go ahead and stencil straight up and down. And if I don't cover it really well the first time, I'll just do it again. You'll spend way less time redoing it than you will cleaning it up. Pick up a little more and always wipe off on the paper towel. Straight up and down. If you start doing this, you're going to shove it underneath the edge. And because I've got this tacked down, I can go ahead and lift and take a look and see what I think. I think I may want to go ahead and switch to a black. Okay, I've mixed, let me get the paints off, charcoal gray, Decoupaged Americana charcoal gray and lamp black to make this kind of gunmetal, kind of aged looking color. And I'll just go right back over what I did. Yeah, that soft black was just reading a little too purple. You can also mix that with a little black and it would be a nice, deep, rich, purpley kind of color. Always, always on the paper towel. Alright, so I'm to the end, and now just lift that off, and presto, presto, beautiful. Okay, now in the dark sides right here, I'm not seeing my lettering very well, so there's some tricks that you can do with that. It takes a little bit of brush control. Okay, I've got a mighty fine liner, which is going to be a fine liner with a ridiculously fine point, and that's going to give you a lot of control when you are making your strokes. So I'm going to thin my paint, and I've got neutral gray with a little bit of water. Wipe off my ferrule, and then right on the edge of where you're doing your lettering, just line ever so lightly on all the left sides. And then that's going to make that pop out just a little bit more. Try not to cover up the lettering, but you do want to go on the left sides. And if you feel like that doesn't show enough and you just really want it a little bit more, you could go down to gray sky. I can open it. You know, or some lighter gray. You can choose any of the colors you want, obviously. But we could bring over just a little bit of gray sky, especially where it's in the darkest area. And see, that starts showing. Now we might need to just go into gray sky where it is in the lightest area. I'm really glad that I changed to the black color because this really would not have showed in the other color. Notice that my hand for my liner brush is straight up and down. And if my paint won't cooperate, I go and get a little bit more water. The water will help it flow off the tip of the brush. Okay, I'm all about the color turquoise these days. It's just the prettiest color. I'm actually wearing it today. So I'm going to use a little bit of the DecoArt Media Acrylic Antiquing Cream to give just little hints of this turquoise color to my project. Now I'm going to pretend like this is wood grain. And so I'm going to draw it down and just add some jazz here and there. See how we're just adding just a little bit, ever so softly. We'll come over here, kind of start on the edges and work our way in and see what we need. Just ever so much. Using the Scumbly Dome brush again. These are awesome brushes. They're super affordable and they last and they do a great job. Yeah, so this is just giving just a little bit of jazz here and there. Draw it up from the bottom like the wood grain is chipping and it's paint and all that kind of stuff. You could leave this completely alone and just have it be the wood grain too. I just kind of like the idea of showing you how to customize. Alright, then we'll also grab a little bit of the burnt umber in the media acrylic line. And maybe we'll go ahead and dance into the black with that as well. And then let's richen up some of our edge shading. And what that will do is that will keep our, I'll go over here so you can see it this way. It'll keep our eye in the piece and frame the piece. And if you want to do just a little bit of brown in the middle, you can do that. You can increase and decrease and do all the things you want to do. Careful not to get it too dark near those letters though. Okay, we'll come down over here, same thing. Bring it down. Okay. Okay, now when I think I'm finished, I'll just take my Mod Podge brush and I'll go straight back over everything. It's nice and thin. You don't want to do a big heavy coat or anything. Go in the grain of your wood so that if you have any little ridges from your brush or anything like that, that it will add to the ambiance of the wood. You could actually add some texture like that and probably be pretty cool. One last smoothing stroke, and we're done.